Hey, shalom, shalom. Shalom. I want to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rukakudash. I want to give the honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and grace and peace to you elect around the four winds, believing and pushing this truth in all sincerity. May the blessing of election be upon your houses. This is your fellow servant, Rukayer from the GMS Orlando camp. And tonight I want to speak a few words regarding this Davos meeting that has been taking place these past couple of weeks, which is basically a council of the elites of Esau Edom regarding their plans for the world, all right, in which we know includes the MOTB, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16, all right, and great wrath, pursuant to Revelation 12 and 12, all right, and them being as God on the earth, pursuant to 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter, all right, which... Let's pull up. All right, this is 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter. And this is the beauty of the scriptures. This is the beauty of prophecy. All right, this is the beauty of these precepts. All right, what the Lord has given us essentially through this truth is a bird's eye view on everything that's going on in the earth, including an in-depth view of the mindset of the devil. You know, the Lord has given us insight on what these devils think, how they operate, and what they plan on doing in the earth. All right, which is why what? Pursuing the 2 Corinthians, the second chapter, in the 11th verse, it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." All right, let's look this word up real quick. All right, and Satan can't get an advantage of us, all right, because the Lord has made us privy to his devices. All right, through where this truth, all right, the light of this truth being shined upon us, all right, of the hopefully elect. Okay, but let's get this word.
Strong's G 4122, pleonekteo. Pleonekteo.
Pleonekteo. It says to have more or a greater part or share, to be superior, excel, surpass. All right, and Satan can't surpass us. Satan can't excel the word of this truth. He can't excel this truth, man. He can't excel the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which is what brothers hold on a daily basis, which is what brothers possess on a daily basis. We possess the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, we possess the mindset and the will of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son through way of these scriptures. Therefore, Satan cannot get an advantage of us because we already know what he's going to do. We already know what he has planned for the earth. And what councils like this do, what councils like this being brought to the forefront do, is basically confirm prophecy, confirm what we already know through the Spirit. All right, we know the devil's coming down with great wrath. All right, we read that in Revelations 12 and 12. We know the devil's going to cast some of us into prison for this testimony. We read that in Revelation 2 and 10. All right, we know there's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 30 and 7. All right, we know that this devil's going to move with great wrath because he knows that he has but a short time. We know that he's going to implement the MOTB in order to be as God on the earth. All right, we know that he has a depopulation agenda. All right, we know that he knows his time is almost up. He's heard the report. Just as sure as we're bringing out the report from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, he hears the report and he's trembling at that report, man. But it says in 2 Corinthians, the second chapter and 11th verse again, it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." All right, let's go ahead and get this in 2 Thessalonians 2 in verse 3. It reads, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first." All right, and that falling away happened to our nation, all right, the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians, pursuant to Jeremiah 17 and 4. All right, we fell away from our heritage. That's our language. That's our land. That's our culture. That's our heritage. We fell away from it completely. All right, now, as you can see, all right, we call ourselves by colors in the crayon box. We call ourselves Latinos. We call ourselves Puerto Ricans and Native American Indians, when in fact, our true heritage, all right, our true nationality is that of Israel, of our respective tribes. You see? And that great gathering is happening again, pursuant to Hosea 1 and 10, all right, Ezekiel 37. All right, the dry bones are being woken up again. All right, the Lord is sprinkling water on the dry bones. All right, and putting sinews and flesh upon the dry bones once again. Those dry bones being the whole house of Israel. All right, once again, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Arabic Indians. All right, but it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. All right, and that man of sin and the son of perdition has been revealed to be none other than Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white man or the so-called Caucasoid race today. All right, they have been revealed to be the man of sin, chiefly the house of Amalek. All right, the head families of Esau, Edom. You know, the 13 head banking families. All right, those who have true stake and true power in this world. All right, who can really make moves. You know, Joe Smo, Joe Sixpack, he don't have really too much say in the world. All right, but these Rockefellers, these DuPonts, these Gettys, these Oppenheimers, they do have a stake in this world. They do have a true say so, and they can make moves. All right, and councils like this Davos meeting, all right, put their mindset and what they're thinking about their council out on the forefront. All right, their plans for the earth, their plans for not only the nation of Israel but their brethren. All right, because these devils are so sadistic that they're willing to put their own kind to death to accomplish their goals. You know. And what does it say in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter? You know, his desire is as hell and death, and he cannot be satisfied. You know, he's willing to take anyone and anything down in order to accomplish his Godhead. He's willing for animals to go extinct. He's willing for the air that he breathes to be polluted. He's willing for the water that he drinks to be polluted. The ocean that he rides upon to be polluted. His own nation to be polluted, just for the sake of his own enterprise flourishing within the earth. Which his enterprise, if we keep on reading in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, is this. Verse 4, who opposeth and exalt himself above all that is called God. All right, and right now you see these devils making a big push for Scientology. You know, a big push for really atheism, you know, to be completely honest. You know, these devils are pushing the ideology that there is no God, or that if there is a God, he doesn't intervene within our lives so that we have the will to do whatever the hell we want to do, which is a complete falsehood. That's a complete lie. You know, it says, who opposeth and exalt himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right, and how is this devil going to go about showing himself that he is God? Showing himself that he is omnipotent and omnipresent like the Heavenly Father. Well, he's going to use his blessing. Of course, he's going to use his blessing, which is the sword and technology. And as Jake is sitting back, bullshitting around, he's perfecting his blessing. All right, he's getting ready to bring about this NWO by way of the MOTB. He's getting ready to chip everybody and everything. All right, in order to keep tabs on it, or in order to control buying and selling. All right, and your very way of life. You know, but heading back. So this article that I have is from blacklistednews.com, and the article is entitled Defeating the Demons of Davos. All right, now starting off, we're going to start off here in this second paragraph. It says, so it will have come as no surprise to hear Schwab opening the 2020 WEF gathering at Davos in Switzerland with talk of the global agenda and our global system, spouting forth about improving the state of the world when he actually means imposing one. All right, and we know that pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16 on down, it says that the devil causeth all right, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive the mark in the right hand or the forehead. All right, which goes to show us what? That this is a global agenda. And sure enough, in this WEF meeting, all right, this Davos meeting, all right, they're talking about improving the state of the world. All right, they're talking about a global system. It's no coincidence. All right, it's no coincidence. They're trying to take control of the whole world. All right, and they're going to use crises like the ones that we're going through today, all right, in order to impose their will, in order to impose their policies, their mandates, all right, their way of life, their laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, for those who have followed our various revelations about the close relationship between the intersectional social impact left and the financial mafia behind the Great Reset, his mention of the presence of Davos of a younger generation of social entrepreneurs will be self-explanatory. Schwab describes the WEF as an international organization for public-private cooperation. We're going to jump down. It says, to the second paragraph right here, it says, the subtitle for this year's Davos theme was government policies and business strategies. All right. And these policies that Esau Edom is starting to implement are starting to echo or mirror that of the draconian laws that were going on back during the time of Rome, ancient Rome. All right, which we know today America is the revised Roman Empire. All right, and a lot of things that ancient Rome was doing back in their day before they fell, all right, are a lot of things that America is starting to do right before its fall. All right, and these draconian measures are going to put society in a strain. You know, it's going to cause a lot of people to fear, and it's going to cause a lot of people to go along with Esau Edom's agenda for the fear of their life and for the fear of not being able to return to quote unquote normal, you know, not being able to live that American dream like they've always dreamed of, you know, and we see that we've seen this before. All right, with these devils. Let's get this in 2 Maccabees chapter 13 and 18. All right, because ultimately these policies that they're putting in place are to stop the men of the Lord, are to stop the Lord's prophets that are out in the highways and byways week in and week out, because the true threat to this kingdom is us. Why? Because we hold the testimony of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We hold the truth. All right. And with this kingdom being established upon nothing but lies, when truth is presented, this kingdom has no choice but to crumble. And as this truth has been presented to the whole world, now people are starting to wake up. Knowledge is starting to increase pursuant to Daniel, the 12th chapter. Knowledge has been increasing ever since the prophets have been out in the highways and byways, ever since the prophets have been putting out these e-epistles day in and day out. And really, there's no avoiding it at this point. Really, everybody knows about the Israelites. Everybody knows about the agenda of the elites. Everybody knows about what they have in store. Everybody knows essentially some form of the truth. And now the witchcraft and the trickery that Esau Edom used to do on a daily basis, that used to beguile and keep people in a docile state, isn't working like it used to. His witchcraft is weakening due to this truth being presented in the earth, due to the testimony of the Lord's elect. Lord willing, we're that number. You know, but it says in 2 Maccabees 13 and verse 18, it says, now when the king had taken a taste of the manliness of the Jews, he went about to take the holds by policy. All right. And by beholding the manliness of the Lord's hopeful elect out there in the highways and byways, standing so stiffly for the name of the Lord, all right, standing in great boldness, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon in the 5th chapter. All right. They're going to go about to take holds by policy, because they know we ain't going to take up arms. You know, we're a faith-based group. We don't believe in carnality. We don't believe by taking over by carnal means. We believe by trusting in the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and letting the Lord do the work. You see? And they can't fight that. That's a battle that they know they can't win. When it comes down to it, a battle of the spirit, Esau Edom can never win. But when it comes down to a battle of the flesh, Esau has that all day. That's his blessing. Of course he's going to win. Of course he wants us to get carnal. Of course he wants us to get up in arms and rowdy. Because that's a battlefield he's used to playing on. That's a form he's used to. Hell, that's how he got control over the whole earth. By force of the sword. So in seeing that we're taking about us a carnal approach, a spiritual approach, all right, he's going to go about to take holds by his policy. All right. And a lot of these policies are going to take a lot of Jakes by surprise. Why? Because they haven't been measuring the times diligently, like the scriptures tell us to do. You can read that in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. All right. And they haven't been sober mentally and spiritually. They haven't been circumspect. They haven't been watching. They haven't been paying attention and taking this truth seriously. Therefore, when the devil implements these new policies and these new mandates that are going to put a strain on life, people are going to fold, man. They just going to go right along with it because they don't have a solid foundation in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They don't have a solid foundation in their source, which is why it's important for us to hopefully those of us who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, to really embody this truth, and really understand what I mean by that. Embody this truth, man. All right. This truth should be what we live, what we eat, what we sleep, what we drink. All right. What we breathe. Our very essence should be this truth. All right. Should be faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And each day that we take on, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, should be another day that we try to increase our faith, to try to increase our wisdom, our knowledge, our understanding, because that's what's going to be needed in these times to come. Pursuant to Isaiah 33:6. What does it say? And wisdom and knowledge shall be the strength of thy salvation, right? Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is his treasure. All right, so not only is wisdom and knowledge going to be the stability of our times. All right, why? Because we're going to know why these things are happening. We're going to have the answers to everything that's going on in the earth, which is going to keep us stable while the rest of the world bugs out. But not only is wisdom and knowledge going to be the stability of our times, but the fear of the Lord is going to be our treasure. The fear of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, understanding that all things that are coming upon the earth and that come upon us ultimately come from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And he's the one to truly fear. You understand? But hitting back on this article, right? Did I leave off on something? What did I just read? Right. I read that. So going back to this article, it reads, the subtitle for this year's Davos theme was the government policies and business strategies. But the WEF could have replaced the and with a simple I because their stakeholder model. The two are exactly the same thing. Schwab explicitly cited low growth as a major problem to date, by which he means that his business partners are not making as much profit as they would like to. But never fear, the hand of destiny is reaching down in the form of various crises, which will enable the government side of collaboration to bail out their private Davos chums without gullible TV watching citizens being any the wiser. And see, and if you notice, as these different councils are being had, and these different plans are being outed, the more distractions are popping up. The more distractions and folly is popping up, man, in the midst of all these councils, in the midst of all these plans coming out. And that's no coincidence. That's by no surprise, or that's by no coincidence, man. These things are happening for a reason. But let's see. Let's jump down. There's a lot that I want to read, but due to the sakes of the policies, that's been implemented on YouTube, is a lot of things that you have to be very, very skeptical about, or very careful about reading. Um, man, there's a lot in this article. So, damn. There's a lot that I want to read, man. Wow. There's a lot in this article. Really, it's a very good read. Once again, this is the title of the article. As you can see up top, that's the website. All right. I encourage you to go and read this article. Just give it a quick read, a quick glance if you can. It's very informative, but we're going to move on with the precepts. All right. I have this in Jeremiah 50 and 43. It says, the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. All right. And the kings of Babylon, all right, have heard the report of the prophets standing out on the highways and byways week in and week out, and on these e-epistles day in and day out. They've heard the report of the prophets. All right. That's why we see these plans being implemented so speedily. These devils are starting to move at a more rapid pace, which wasn't like this 5 years ago. It wasn't like this last year. It wasn't like this 3 years ago. But these things are starting to speed up and happen more rapidly now because we're living in the time of the end. And just as it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, all right, in the end, they shall the vision will speak. All right, and not only are the visions starting to speak, but now we're starting to see the plans of these elites come to the forefront more often, man. All right, why? Because they're scared. All right, they're waxing feeble. Anguish is taking hold of them. Why? Because they know that they have but a short time. They know their time is short, man. They know they're almost out of here. They know it. That's why they're moving like they're moving. It says the king of Babylon had heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as of a woman in travail. All right. And for this very same reason, the devil's going to come down with that great wrath pursuing Revelation 12 and 12. But hey, what we've been reassured of through the Spirit is that the Lord is going to take care of us during that time. All right. We really, Akim, we really have nothing to worry about when it comes to this devil, man. Let him do what he has to do. All right. Understand the Lord is going to come through for us. All right. And I believe that, man. Like, at this point, I believe the Lord is going to come through on every facet of our lives. No matter what. No matter what circumstance we find ourselves here in these latter days, the Lord is going to strengthen us, man. And that standard is coming to somebody. That spiritual power is coming to somebody, man. Lord willing to be me, but if it ain't me, it's coming to somebody. And that power of the Lord is going to be seen in the earth, man. But let's get this in Isaiah 65. And we'll grab this in Job, and then we'll close it out. All right, this is Isaiah 65 and verse 13. It says, let's start at verse 12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. All right, and this is for 2/3 of the nation of Israel, man. All right, the Lord called and you didn't answer. All right, the Lord stretched forth his hand and you slapped it away. All right, the Lord tapped you on your shoulder and you pulled away the shoulder. All right, therefore you have to answer for that, man. All right, the Lord extended his mercy abundantly to our nation, man. But for those who refuse to understand, for those who refuse to get it, all right, the Lord is going to number you to the sword. And the sword is going to come by way of famine, pestilence, WW3, the MOTB. All right, the sword is going to manifest in various different ways. So it will behoove you to take heed to this message, to take heed to the warning of Yahweh Shem Yahushua before it's too late. Because eventually, these videos that you come and watch for entertainment, whether it be for entertainment, whether it be to scoff, eventually these videos ain't gonna be up no more. And eventually shit is gonna hit the fan, and eventually these prophecies are going to take place, are going to become a reality. And in that day, it's going to be up to what you've been doing in your time of liberty, in your time of grace. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the faith that you've been building in this time that you've been given. But it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right, let's get this in Job chapter 5. Just reinforcing the fact that the Lord got us, man. All right, reinforcing the fact that we have nothing to fear outside of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, understand the times that we're coming into are necessary. All right, the prophets before us had to go through it. Yahushua had to go through it, and we must go through it. This is our proven process. This is our proven ground right now. All right, we're going to be put to the test. And Lord willing, we continue to be strengthened. All right, we continue to fight this good fight of faith and endure to the end. Well, this is Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit thy habitation and shall not sin. All right, so understand. All right, these things are necessary coming upon the earth. All right, and we've been trained up. We've been built up for these times. All right, but nevertheless, this article is a very good read. Once again, if you want to go read it, this is the information. All right, but I just wanted to touch on a few things that have been said in this Davos meeting. And there's a lot that has been said, in this meeting that reinforce prophecy. That reinforces prophecy, and that reinforces what we already know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But it's just being brought to the forefront now for everyone to see. But with that being said, shalom. Stay up.